All right, we're gonna get started now, man. Unfortunately, the connection issues from Twitter, um, they just absolutely suck right now. And Payne, can you bring up Memetics? Just click approve. It's the mushroom guy.
Yeah, I don't see the request. Yeah, I don't see the request anywhere, man.
Gosh. All right. Anyways, we're here with the Bear Chain.
Oh, it says he's connecting. It says he's connecting.
Yeah. Well, we're here with the Bear Chain crew, and we're gonna talk some shop. F Dub from the Honeycast. We got Kalius as well from Honey Jar, and we got Shirtless from Spice. If you guys want to say what's up, what's going on, fellas? How are you guys feeling today, man? By the way, I really want to avoid talking about what everybody else is talking about, Silvergate and Credit Suisse and all that stuff. I feel like it's getting really bland and quite boring, kind of like FTX. You know what I mean? It's like the week after FTX rugged, people could not shut up about Sam Bankman-Fried. And it's getting to that point, man. What happened happened. The market's just going to move on, in my opinion. How are you feeling, F Dub? Let's start with you, brother.
Hello, sirs. I am doing well. Enjoying this Saturday evening. Got a burger on the sidelines, like my capital, and ready to speak with all you guys at Because Bitcoin. Y'all are good people, good times. My name's F Dub. I'm BD over at the Honey Jar, also co-host of the Honeycast, a Bear Chain podcast, because bears can read. Excited to chat with you guys.
So we got Tenzent from CeeLo. What's going on, brother?
Hey, so hello as well. I'm from Silo Finance. We came here a couple spaces ago, but King Wabi told me that the Barachain guys were going to be speaking, and I'm very excited to hear what they have to say. Just a quick rundown on us: we're a risk isolated lending platform, and we do lending in a sort of different way, but we have a lot of focus kind of on liquidity. We have a nicely sized treasury, so we provide a lot of liquidity. We make markets in the way of having protocol-owned convex, and overall, I'm not too familiar with Barachain, but I've been really hyped on it by a lot of people, and especially the Olympus crowd. They seem to be very excited about, and that's a community we're well knit with. So excited to hear. Thank you, guys.
Kalius, what's going on, brother? How you feeling today?
Hello. Quite excited. Excited times in kind of in crypto in general, but especially in Beras chain eco. Yeah, I started my DeFi adventure with Olympus, and yeah, glad to see so many people coming through and surviving through all these markets. People I've seen, I've been around since those days, so those OT Olympus days, and yeah, excited to talk to you guys about Better Chain and these other projects that we have here.
Shirtless, what's going on, bro? Welcome to the show.
Yo, what's good? I didn't hear anything Kalia said. I don't know if anybody else did, but I'm shirtless. I'm one of the co-founders over at Spice. Right now, I'm spending the day doing some light work, recovering from a long night. I'm celebrating St. Patty's Day in the US here. And I'm excited to, always hop on a space with the guys over at Honey Jar. Extremely close with the guys. Excited about what they're doing. Excited about how we can help and collaborate, and maybe even talk a little bit about Spice here, and learn about what all of you guys are doing. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, man. Feel free to put us on the plug with Spice, man. What are you guys building?
Yeah, we're aggregating NFT lending liquidity. So effectively, the short version is we're building like a yearn finance for NFT lending specifically. So essentially, it's just like an infrastructure such that anybody, or the end state of Spice will be like infrastructure such that anybody can spin up their own vaults in a kind of easy manner with predetermined lending parameters, lending strategy parameters. They can spin up their own vaults and then contribute capital, have other people contribute capital to those vaults, and then like in any other vaults product, the capital will get routed via our infrastructure to underlying NFT lending marketplaces like, you know, Arcade or X2Y2 or NFT5 or even Bandit Drops, and you know, deploy capital, fund loans, collect interest, and give that back to vault depositors as yield. So we're excited just to like, you know, participate in the scaling of the NFT finance industry in that capacity.
So is this like pseudo swap?
No, so we're building like a yearn finance for NFT lending. So we're not actually swapping any or like we're not like a spot exchange, and we're not even an NFT lending marketplace where people come to get loans. We're effectively just building a means such that people can fund these loans on the underlying marketplace in a easy manner.
Well, man, that sounds pretty good brain, bro. That is completely out of my realm, but looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. How long have you guys been building so far, and how's it like building on Bear Chain?
Yeah, I mean, we're actually on Ethereum right now, but we've been building for the past 9 months or so. But it's been going well, you know, getting to interact with a bunch of people, kind of looking at other chains because eventually we want to explore cross chain, like, you know, liquidity routing to whatever NFT finance industries kind of pop up on our radar. But it's been, you know, extremely exciting. We had a pretty good launch. We had a pretty unique way to kind of bootstrap liquidity for the vaults. And as of right now, we're just heads down trying to launch some features. We got something coming up on Monday that will give our early supporters some unique benefits on the platform. And then from there, it's just slowly marching towards like that end state that I was talking about, building that infrastructure for anyone to be able to easily spin up, you know, vaults with their own strategies. So yeah, it's a steady march forward. You know, excited to have the support of the Bear team here, and then also, you know, support them going into the future for whatever like NFT finance industry or market pops up on that chain as well.
So this would be like a protocol like first of its kind, yeah? Or is there anything else that's similar to what you guys are doing? Because I know like on Pseudo, they're trying to build out some NFT finance sort of stuff.
Yeah, in terms of like exactly what we're building, there's no peer competitors to Spice Finance at the moment. So there's nobody that's like optimizing on the infrastructure layer, like optimizing yield or trying to make lending in the origination phase a more simple product. But you know, that's kind of it's just the benefit of like kind of being early in the space, right? So just from the nature of the underlying assets, that being NFTs, there's such like a variety of different mechanisms that should be deployed in order to like unlock capital efficiently, right? So that just leads to a lot of fragmentation, even in this early stage of the industry right now. So we saw like an opportunity here to, you know, try to help the industry as a whole scale and then solve some problems on the ground. And I think we just got in early. There'll probably be more competitors down the line, but I think that we're delivering this value proposition first for users in the industry.
Tenzin, I know with you guys at CeeLo, you guys have a borrowing and lending platform and all that stuff. If there's anything that you want to ask Shirtless, feel free to do so. This is a space where, you know, we're trying to connect as many builders with each other as possible. We're going to start to do that moving forward. And, you know, I know I'm trying to do that with you guys at Arbitrum. So if you want to ask him a question, feel free to do so, brother. Holy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting what you're speaking of. I need to look more into it, but
It's
with our
Alex.
YouTube,
Yeah, I'm building. I've got my set of Legos here. I don't know if it's 8 years or older, but I'm above the
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. I think my mic must be messed up. I'm new to speaking on Twitter Spaces. Not sure how it quite got here, but doesn't matter. I have a couple of NFTs I'd like to sell to you. Are you interested?
This guy, dude, listen, man. Listen.
Well, I think there's something wrong with my mic or the Twitter Spaces.
Look, dude. Look. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to do this. Look, man. Look. This is our weekend segment, okay? And over here, we are united by the power of friendship, right? And we are here with all the Beras from Bear Chain. So you need to show some courteousness and some respect. All right, Bo? So listen here, dude. I'm gonna unmute you now, and we're gonna get the show on the road again. But I need you to properly calm down. You know, drink some Kool-Aid, have some granola bar with some Greek yogurt, okay? And then we can talk. All right? So I'm going to give you a few seconds now. Payne, if you want to comment on how this space just got completely rated right now.
We just got
Yeah,
rated,
feel free
man.
to give your
It's
thoughts.
all right though, as long as you show some respect. I mean, their floor is 88 ETH. They're not fucking around. But yeah, if you'd like to speak, Alex, you can go ahead. We'll unmute you, but just don't come in here out of pocket.
Okay. And if you guys are enjoying this space, okay, you guys are enjoying the vibes. We are the vibes connoisseurs here at Because Bitcoin. Feel free to give us a follow and turn on bell notifications. My name is Wabi. I host these spaces throughout the week, and we talk all things crypto, all things DeFi, all things NFTs, and sometimes we just like to kick back and talk some shop. All right, so we're gonna unmute you now. So please be courteous, brother.
It's Alex here. I think there was problems with the microphone. I'm here to sell some NFTs. I've got some rare ones listed. I've got a Mutant Ape Yacht Club. I don't know if you're familiar with the Yuga brand, but it's one of their assets. Well, I don't have just any other Mutant Ape Yacht. I have one with laser eyes. It's an M2. It's not an M3. It's not an M1. No, sirree. It's an M2. I'm going to be selling it today for 30 Ethereum, 30 Ethereum. Anyone that would like to participate, it is listed on OpenSea. I pinned it to the top. You can get.
Jeez, man. This is why we can't have nice things, brother. Anyways, this is why we can't have nice things. I'm sorry, brother. I had to do it. I had to kick him. I had to. I know you guys never see me in this light, or I just see red and I'm just like kick, scam. But anyways, wrapped up.
He's just excited about it. He's just excited about his JPEGs, man. I like my JPEGs too.
I mean,
No?
look, man. If you wanted to collaborate with you guys at Bear Chain, and if he shared that same enthusiasm with Bera, then I would be willing. But the dude just came in here, guns blazing, like John Travolta on a bad day, and I just had to do some damage control. But
I'll just drop this. I think Janice will be
Dude, I spent a
willing
lot of time
to.
shit posting
Is
on
definitely
his
willing to
Twitter.
buy his NFT.
A lot of time.
yeah, I'm not sure what that was all about, but geez, CeeLo, if you want to give your thoughts before we were rated, bro. That was something else, man.
Yeah, well, I'm interested to hear a little bit more. I mean, we are a lending platform and we do risk isolated lending. What that means is we can create, lending pairs for basically anything because there's no contagion. So, I mean, we are actively working on a V2 that's going to bring a lot of different features. And to that, we are actually building in some incentives for people to build oracles, and it'll be very interesting. So, I mean, if there is something like that, it does Spice essentially work as an oracle at a certain layer?
Yeah, I mean, we don't work as an oracle. We essentially work as like a liquidity provider onto your platform, right? So if there's an instance I mean, we're starting with the NFT lending market specifically, right? So we're not lending against ERC20s at the moment. But effectively, if you have a system uh, where you have like two sides of the market, lenders and borrowers, we effectively act as another lender on your protocol, right? But we're building somewhat of an abstraction layer such that there's like users who don't want to interact specifically with your protocol or specifically with any of the other, like I'll talk about our industry specifically, but like any of the other 30 different marketplaces that exist on NFT finance on Ethereum at the moment. So instead of doing all of the on the ground work trying to analyze each of the mechanisms on the various marketplaces, they could just come to the Spice Finance platform and gain exposure to all of the loans across all of the industries, right? So in the way that we could probably collaborate with you guys when it makes sense for the both of us would be um, an instance where we would include you guys amongst the strategies that um, the Volt spin up people or the people that spin up Volts can kind of integrate into their own Volt strategy and then route liquidity accordingly, right? So we're just like a way for people to direct liquidity to other platforms like yourselves.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I would love to speak on it briefly afterwards as well if you have time. But yeah, we are building that, and I think actually it makes a lot of sense specifically because you guys are kind of doing this Yearn Vault style building on top of it. We have our stable coin, which if should we add NFT lending in RV2, it could probably prove to generate some very good yields for users. So yeah, happy to speak
Yeah,
on
would love to strike up a conversation afterwards for sure.
Awesome, man. We're out here making connections, building in the bear market. But
That's what it's all about.
F-Dub, my brother, how's it going over at the Honey Jar, man? Any new developments that you feel that you should speak upon? I know it's been a couple of weeks.
Yes, brother. Some really exciting news. Actually, we launched for those who aren't familiar. We're the team over at the Honey Jar, a project that's looking to sort of connect the larger Bear chain ecosystem that is yet to come through all of the partners and basically just engage all the engagement and excitement. And we funneled that through our Honeycomb NFTs, and we had a large sum of 16,420 NFTs that we launched on 3/3 as a signal and sign to our Olympus origins, and we also had 9.9 ohm as purchasable as the mint number to mint, or 0.99 Ethereum, and in 13 days, amidst a bank run, we sold out today 16,420 NFTs for our honeycombs, which is pretty exciting.
I mean, honestly, dude, during a bank run, the best thing to do is just to jump into the Honey Jar, really. When you actually think about it, a big jar of honey. I mean, come on, man. But yeah, man, I'm glad that the space moved on from this pestering annoyance that occurred over the last weekend. But onwards and upwards, brother. It's just it's just a tale of how despite all this crap, we're still here. We're out here building. We're united as a community, and that's really what it's all about, man. Making friends and kind of considering one another as coworkers, right? And we all work for this decentralized honey jar called crypto, right?
No, I feel you on that, man. And everyone's, building, collaborating. Communities are still here and thriving. You just got to put your heads in the right places. And I think, NFTFi in a lot of the spaces that I think a lot of the speakers are working in, that's sort of still niche but growing larger, is one of those great spaces. Shout out to Spice, shout out to Silo. There's a lot of great people building.
So, what do you think is needed at the current moment with the space? I know Bear Chain. It kind of reminds me of, as I've said many times before, as an early stage Thor chain, but it also sort of has like the gamified aspect that Harmony had with DeFi Kingdoms, and also with Avax's Krabata. So apart from that, like what other innovations would you guys want to see on Berachain?
Yeah, Callie, do you have any? Callie, I know you got a lot of thoughts on some of the flywheels that can pop up.
Yeah, I think when you can you guys hear me properly, by the way? Because I remember Shirtless mentioned that my mic might not be working
Yeah,
or something.
we
No,
can hear
no,
you
you're good.
great,
You're
brother.
good. You're good.
Yeah, we hear you good.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, with innovation on better chain, I think when you look at new chains popping up and what apps people usually use, yeah, it's usually a dense yield aggregator and a few other things. But if you look at more successful ones, not entirely, not necessarily only mainness, but like L2s like Arbitrum or Optimism. Yeah, it's just a few apps, and then there's a lot more apps around those. So I think in at Betachain, when it launches, we probably should concentrate on the same thing, as in you will have a lot of apps popping up on Betachain, and maybe a bit more than you would usually have on new chains because of the popularity and also because of the memetics of Betachain. But I think that's really good for DGen plays and the OT crowd, or all Olympus crowd, and new people that we have come into the space. They do love that. But I think it's also important to concentrate on apps that will probably be there long term, or the also protocols that are able to, to bring in value long term. Betachain has a few great minds working on this, like the guys from Crackshot, Sammy from Redacted, and a few others. But in general, I am quite excited about NFT Pi space. That's kind of what I'm concentrated on at this point.
Yeah, and Callius, I just wanted to ask you. I might be totally off here, but I believe that someone had mentioned to me that Berachain is sort of creating a way to monetize the actual launching of contracts. Am I out of my depth here? Or?
Well, I'm not really a part of Berachain team. I'm part of the Honeyjar team. So I don't really have all the insider information that maybe the team itself would have. All I know is maybe a few more rumors than other people, but not really a lot more than that.
Hey guys, I don't want to interrupt the dialogue here, but Memetics, if you can join through the Bear Markets NFT profile, try doing that because I've already tried about a dozen times to bring you up, but I think it's a connection on your end, brother.
No worries, Wabi. I think Medic said that if it doesn't work, it's fine. We can just talk on behalf for him for Bear Markets.
Yeah, if you can give us like an introduction on what Bear Markets is building on and what their goal is for the overall NFT space and NFT fi space, feel free to do that. And for the individual in the audience, if you enjoy these spaces, feel free to retweet the space so we can get more people in, talk all things Berachain and all that stuff. There aren't really many Twitter spaces going on where Berachain is consistently covered, and I'd like to be one of those individuals to get Berachain some more exposure and things like that. I think what they're building is going to be pretty cool for the overall DeFi space, and it's going to kick in a new wave of excitement, man. Because you can have the greatest tech in the world, but if people don't really know about you or what you're building, then honestly, it's going to suck. And we're trying to build something fun because fun is what matters, right? When you think about meme coins, it's because they're fun, right? Aave at the beginning was fun. Uniswap in the beginning was fun, right? OHM
I
was
think you make a
fun.
great point, man.
It's
I think you make a great
all
point about
fun,
fun,
dude.
man.
Like AVAX How fun was AVAX, dude? In 2021, dude, that thing was like hilariously fun. Same thing with Harmony, dude. Like people,
Everybody loved AVAX back then.
dude.
Yeah, dude. Everyone with the red triangles and all that. Like, I'm bullish on
Yeah.
communities and people who just rally behind, some kind of meme or
Dude,
whatever it may be.
Yeah, I
Yeah, and
think
I love
there's
how
a
you
secret
mentioned
sauce to be
Crabada as well.
found. Yeah. I think there's a secret sauce to be found in all aspects of what makes something successful. It can be social, sauce. It could be culturally. It could be through memes. It could be through great tech. It could be through, how they just different routes. And I think if you can have that in multiple different aspects, I think you might have something special there. I think that's one of them. Having fun, in your communities.
people would log into DeFi Kingdoms just to vibe to the music, brother. All right, we have we have the bear market NFT platform. All right,
Let's give it a spin.
dude, everyone put your hands up, man, so we can get the connection to go through, because this is something else, bro. This is like a spirit bomb in Dragon Ball Z. Everyone needs to just put their hands up and give them your energy.
Say a prayer to the Bears.
No, I feel you though on the community side. I still hold my AVAX APA to this day. So,
Dude, that was like one of the first NFTs I ever bought. And it was like, yeah, that was really fun. When it was like really, really going. The floor got up to like $1,000 USD. That was super crazy.
yeah, right when I bought
And it was dude, I bought like a bunch of them. That was really like my first NFT, and I bought a bunch of them around like $200, and then they went to 1,000 over the course of like 3 days. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy! Like, it really, and yeah, the whole AVAX ecosystem was really going crazy at the time, and tons of people were coming in. It was fun.
No, totally. And what's a lot of fun too is like NFTs, right? That's where I think a lot of that community buildness and funness can stem from. And bear market's looking to basically be that new NFT marketplace. So I'll just speak about it since the mic isn't working. They're basically essentially trying to be a cross chain, protocol for NFTs. There's tons of different marketplaces, layers, chains, for NFT liquidity through different things like liquidity mechanisms, royalty, and such. So bear markets basically trying to build their own marketplace specifically for NFT-Fi, and it's going to be on multiple chains. And by the name, I think it might be on Bear as well. They're basically going to be focusing on building their own novel mechanism, which is going to be sorry, 1 second. It's just basically going to stem from the idea of like Olympus and liquidity, and they're going to be making this thing called range bound stability, building on the bear market standard. So they're going to be offering a new standard to NFT projects, and also aggregating generalized NFT marketplaces for the bears. So some really cool stuff that they're building this novel in the NFT-Fi space and NFTs in general for marketplaces. So yeah, the Twitter account's there. Definitely follow it. I think there's some updates coming in the near future. So yeah.
Yeah, and just to reiterate a bit, when Meftap mentioned the similarities between, or the inspirations Market took from Olympus, he was not referring to early 2021 Olympus. He's referring to 2023 Olympus with the range bound.
Yeah, I haven't really kept up with what Olympus DAO is doing when it comes to like the new like incentives for liquidity. I've really only been paying attention overall to Bear Chain. I know there's not really like a single source of alpha. It's more like a wide range of alpha. Talking to a select few people. And also with what Field Network is doing with their blockchain modularity execution layer and stuff like that, and Egan layer as well. But outside of that, man, like I've been pretty out of the loop with like the more super high yield stuff. But I'm trying to get some alpha drops from the teams building over at Arbitrum. So that's why we have CeeLo here, and see if we can make something happen. with Bearchain and sort of collaborate between the two protocols and have something good happen. You know what I mean? Go ahead, CeeLo. I mean, go ahead, Tenzin.
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, I was just going to ask because I know Bearchain is a Cosmos chain, and you guys are speaking a lot about NFT-Fi. Is it going to be EVM compatible? Are you guys going to inherit the 31? Oh man, 736 standard? Yeah.
I think Bearchain isn't really going to launch like a Cosmos hub. Like, it's not going to launch like Stargaze or Juno or anything like that. I think it's just gonna it's gonna be a protocol built on Tendermint, right? Like the actual tech stack. And to my knowledge, I do believe they're gonna have like a bridge to Ethereum, given that like it is built on Tendermint, and you can pretty much bridge on anything with Tendermint to things like AVAX, Solana, Ethereum, and inevitably Move as well. I know Saga has their tech stock on Tendermint, and they're going to have a bridge to Sui and Aptos, which is built on the Move programming language. But if FDub, if you want to give like a deep dive more into the technical aspects of it all, feel free to chime in, brother. And if anyone wants to come in as well on the speaker panel, feel free to do so. Just please don't come up here trying to shill your product like a maniac, like shilling Dylan.
Or your NFTs.
Yeah, like I've heard of that guy
Yeah.
before, dude. But like, I didn't think he was like.
Gonna pull up and troll.
Yeah, I
Oh,
did
you
not
didn't
expect
you didn't know that? Oh, you didn't know that guy.
I
I thought it
didn't.
was your homie or something.
No.
No. Because like I know he's in one of those like Mario Nawfal spaces before.
No, yeah, he's just an NFT
He's probably the
influencer.
biggest NFT influencer. There's like a different crowd. It's there's like CT, and CT's
Yeah.
kind of divided into like DeFi Twitter and then like NFT Twitter. NFT Twitter is like, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but like the creator economy, like NFT Twitter is just like motivational speakers kind of just talking to their crowds.
It's like,
Just like the GMs with the paragraphs that are motivating
exactly,
with like a sunset.
yeah,
dude,
exactly that shit.
Gotcha.
Dude, and it's like you don't,
I like those photos.
and if you don't follow like all the speakers on the panel, it's like a crime, bro. You need to be following like twice the amount of followers that you have. Like if you have like 2,000 followers, you need to be following 10,000 people. And it's like, geez, bro, I'm just here to see what's up. You know what I'm saying? But there's definitely two sides of NFT Twitter. You have the CT side, and then you have like the absolute just maniac side of the NFT Twitter Spaces community. But I mean, there are some smaller crowds out there that have like these sub DAO communities, like some people from Sappy Seals and the Plague, like those smaller communities from those collections. They're pretty cool. I also like some of the D Gods people, like not the actual team, but like the DeFi Gigabrains. Like I think his name is what is it, Payne? It's ZK something. I forgot what it's like, ZK Mike or something like that.
I can't remember.
ZK Mike, that's the homie.
Yeah, him.
ZK Mike.
Yeah. I believe that's his at. He's pretty smart. I saw him on a Leap Space one time, but shit, man. As Carter said, the son of a nutcracker, dude. I lost my train of thought. But,
no, you're good, dude. You were talking. You're asking more about like the tech stuff.
Yeah.
We are not devs. We're from the Honey Jar, which is a community and a project that's supporting the larger Bearchain ecosystem. That project building on it. But Bearchain themselves actually just released. They're basically their new gold standard for EVM for any blockchain trying to launch on Cosmos. They built it from the ground up, and it's some really interesting innovations that are basically gonna improve performance when executing common transactions, increasing and enhanced mempool implementations, optimizing storage models, and a couple other more like integral things for people who want that performance in the Cosmos ecosystem, and still have that that native experience that's sort of powerful but still seamless integration into those places. So I would definitely recommend checking out those docs about Polaris. It's the first more technical upgrade from the team because they've been very heads down. But I think it's the first of many new releases soon. So I would highly recommend checking that out if you're interested. Sorry, Tenzin, I can't speak to that myself because it's very
No, don't worry about it. I'm just a nerd. I'm also not a dev. Just a aficionado at Python, but just love to see more of the stuff about interoperability because between chains. Just because you mentioned the multi-chain approach.
For sure, but
yeah.
I think can you pin on this Spaces?
Yeah,
Wabi?
you can. Yeah. It was just that like that dude who like tried selling his fucking Bored Ape, dude. Out of all places, you decide on a Saturday afternoon, nice and breezy, with barely any clouds, with the wind breezing, with your boy ready for his arm workout, to come and try to sell your mutant ape, your Bored Ape, to people that are just here chilling with individuals that are enthusiastic about all things Web3 and crypto. And I just want to say for the individuals in the crowd, I support women in tech. And with that being said, we're all here very cordial, okay? We're all here very cordial to talk about the life-changing technologies. I can't. Dude, go ahead.
Okay, what's up, kings and queens? What are we?
What's going
What's
on?
up, Dup?
Yeah, no. This is it's just a media platform called Because Bitcoin. We have various shows, and my show is the digital asset content. So we talk about all things crypto, NFTs, DeFi, or just overall. Like sometimes we talk just general bulls versus bears stuff, events that are happening. So if you want to talk anything crypto related and all that jazz, welcome to the show, dude. I do these things
Yo,
throughout the week, but the time varies. I try to have on as many unique guests as possible, so the time does vary. So if you have a good time, dude, feel free to follow us, brother. What's going on, man?
yo, Wabi, what's up, man?
What's up, Rita?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, man. I've been in the spaces since the summer, man, and those macro spaces are getting boring as fuck, man. Not gonna lie to you. So these spaces are good. Like it's always the same shit, right? Like banks collapsing, everything is gonna go to zero, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been just making money since January, man. You know, just playing narratives and degening in some coins and stuff.
Do you
So
still?
Yeah,
Now?
yeah.
I mean, I feel really bad, man, for the people that these spaces are good, the macro ones. I just feel like some people that are speaking, I don't know if they have a degree in finance or whatever, but sometimes they just talk out their ass, man. Like it's
Wabi,
very fucking confusing, man. Not gonna lie,
Yeah,
macro
dude.
stuff.
I'll speak on myself, dude. When it comes to macro, dude, like I try to digest it. As a kid playing tic-tac-toe, so I mean, Payne can tell you. I see Kim is in the crowd as well. Kim can tell you. And on Sunday morning, dude, it must have been like 2 a.m. or something like that. Word started going around that, oh, the Fed's going to give a bailout or whatever. So I thought, okay, Bo, what is the highest alpha move, right? And I thought, okay, if USDC goes back to pair, but when they do like, if they do a fork from USDC and they try to implement it as a CBDC, where it's like, all right, the current version of USDC is now halted across all platforms. And let me tell you, bro, Aave is good, but they can freeze your shit just like they did with Justin Sun. You know, if you guys remember that event last year with Tornado Cash, right? That mixer, it's like if your ETH address had anything to do with that, Aave just froze your shit and you were just fucked. So I thought, like, okay, the possibility of that happening to USDC, it's quite up there, and perhaps there would have been something where you redeem your USDC on chain for another version of it, but you would have to go through some sort of KYC implementation. The probability was there, right? Nobody fucking knew, and anyone who tells me otherwise is just lying and a LARP, really. So I thought, all right, I'm gonna buy some Bitcoin, but I'm going to buy more Bitcoin than I am with altcoins. And I haven't done that since like the previous bottom at 3K. I've predominantly, just buying altcoins. Really, I haven't bought a single Satoshi
Yeah,
since like
but
2019 up until recently. And whatever happened. I don't know if they're doing QE or not. I just know that narrative
yeah,
was for BTC, and
yeah,
I'm like, all right, time
yeah,
to
yeah,
play some upside here and there. So
yeah, yeah, exactly, bro. The QE or QT, whatever the fuck it is, man. Like, I did not understand why everyone was super bearish, right? Because the Bitcoin chart, I mean, this shit looks pretty fucking bullish to me, man. I mean, yes, you should have bought earlier, but I feel bad for the people that were listening to. Look, macro is important and everything, but at the end of the day, like, nobody knows shit, right? Like, the only thing we know is we as degens here, builders or whatever, we look at cryptocurrency, right? This shit moves very different than the bull macro thing, and I just feel bad, man, for the people that were in those spaces. And again, no disrespect to your friends or whatever that were speaking, but if you're new and listening to that stuff, then you are sidelined, man, for sure. Like, I think many people are just sidelined at the moment, man, which is a shame.
I agree, man. And the thing I'll say about that is, like, it's ironic because a lot of, like, I have a finance degree and I pay attention to macro, and I think that, like, it can be important, but only to a certain extent. Like, it's also, I think after a certain point it does more harm than good to pay attention, because a lot of my friends who don't know a thing about the economy and who just buy new projects that they believe in and then buy majors when they think they're cheap. Like, they're just like, oh, it looks like it's a big dip. Like, I'm gonna buy it. Like, just without, like, completely left curve it. They
yeah,
outperform a
bro,
lot of
yeah,
my
yeah.
friends who, like, really, really, really think about macro. And I'm just like, sometimes you just gotta, like, ape. Like, there can still
Oh
be a
man,
mid.
So
I
Like,
hold on before we go on to a different topic and all that stuff. I want to bring up DT. He's another bear chain enthusiast. I think that Dupes guy, whatever his name is, he dropped off. So if you're in the audience, you want to introduce yourself and all that stuff, feel free to go ahead. But anyways, man, I want to put some emphasis on what Rita has been sharing on these spaces. Back in January, before that breakout to 19K, he had shared this little bit of alpha. What's it called, Payne? Like token cipher or something like that. Cipher Hunter.
No,
Cipher Hunter.
it's called yeah,
Yeah.
I've been using it since
it's a
2019
great
now.
website.
Yeah.
But it's very good because like the VCs, they provide the most liquidity anyways to these markets. Like, without VCs, we would not have Optimism or Arbitrum, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they're all VC funded. And again, look, I don't marry these coins or whatever, but I want to catch them before anyone knows them. And I think looking into VC's portfolio, it's really good information. And I don't know why that website is not paid. Like, it should have been behind the paywall anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know why it isn't. But bro, I catch many fucking wins, man,
Yeah.
because of that website.
So
Like, it's incredible.
like,
Yeah.
can you give us? I don't want this to be a shilling space, but can you give us like two projects that you've recently found that are interesting, and we can share those on the Nest? Two projects, just one or
Uh,
two projects, really.
yeah, sure, man. I mean, there are many still not released, man. I mean, I'm a big fan of Atom, of
Yeah,
Cosmos,
yeah, yeah,
because of interoperability. And you have this project called well, this one's not Atom. It's called Aztec Network.
yeah. That's like
It's
good.
a layer one. Yeah, I mean, it's so I look at how much money do they have, right? How much money is funded by this project? Because the more money they have, the higher the chance they will survive, right, in this bear market. How long it fucking takes? Because at the end of the day, these projects need money to survive these times, and I don't know how long we're gonna stay in this bear market cycle thing. But projects like Matic in the past, when they were like 4 or 5 cents, I saw they had a big seed round and funding round as well. That's also one of the reasons they survived as well and are now thriving. But yeah, I mean, two projects. I mean, Aztec Network got they secured like $100 million funding round. They're not released yet, and I will add one more. So there are two privacy layer ones. So what I'm seeing in this VC world right now, like, they are liking these privacy layer one blockchains, And the other one is Espresso. It's another layer one blockchain. I think they're gonna use zero knowledge infrastructure within their chain. Of course, you have Anoma. I think you know Anoma very
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
Bobby.
From the
Their token
Helix
release
team.
takes freaking long. Yeah, I'm waiting for the token release. They've been building for 2-3
Yeah, yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah.
You
It's
know,
it's
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 bullish.
Anoma and Namada. It's
Oh yeah, Monada, man. Kobe, big.
yeah, yeah,
Look, if Kobe invests in, man,
yeah,
you don't sleep on it,
yeah,
man. Like, don't even think that much.
yeah.
So one more thing to add, Bobby. So the Cipher Hunter thing, you want to reduce your time, right, by researching these projects and finding gems. Like, why do your own research if you can follow a fucking VC that has so I made my own VC list where I have like the top VCs, the mid tier VCs, and the low tier VCs. And these VCs, man, they have a top tier like research team. Like, why would I just waste my time, like waste like hundreds of hours going through a project, man? If a top tier VC with a good track record, like Polychain Capital or Pantera Capital,
Or
right? If
NGC
they
Ventures, bro.
invest in something,
NGC Ventures as well,
then
brother.
go. Well, NZ Ventures, so the way I look at things, what be at these VCs, like if I see a VC and they invest in like 200 coins, that's bearish for me.
Yep,
That means these VCs
100%.
just click, 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 click. But Polychain Capital and Pantera, man, they have a small portfolio, man. They have like maybe 40 coins, 45 coins. That's bullish for me, man. That means their research team is like A class. They don't, ape in everything.
Yeah,
So
the shotgun approach for VCs, like that, it's very flawed. Like if you have $2 million and you put in 20K to a bunch of different ones, that is pretty negative EV, and you're not gonna strike. Because if we're being honest, bro, like I understand that in crypto, when it's a bull market, everyone thinks that everything goes up, when that's really not the case. If you take a look at the original basket of tokens from DeFi, if you had held most of those tokens that ran up during that second half of 2020, your gains were capped by the time BTC broke out of 30K in January. And you just lagged and bled against Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? But, with that being said, man, I want to introduce you to some individuals that are, pretty bullish and, have a great amount of knowledge on Bearchain. I'm not sure if you know about them. DT, if you want to go ahead, give them like the little intro if you want to, brother. If not, we can pass it over to F-Dub and he can give like a little intro on the new Polaris update and all that stuff.
Yo, what's up, Bobby? What's up, everybody? I mean, last time we spoke about Bearchain, the only thing that's new from last Faces is Polaris, which is pretty interesting. Like there is no token for Polaris, right? It's just a consensus engine. So it's very interesting that they're competing against Ethermint and they're trying to build a new standard for it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know what else is new. I don't wanna take away too much time from.
We'll find out on 420.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? 420.
Good number. What's up,
Yeah,
DT? Good number.
no, we like the 420. It's just a good number, No relation to
Yeah,
what the
for
Bears are
whoever
doing.
doesn't know. Yeah, I was going to say for whoever doesn't know, it has been leaked recently that we'll get something on 420. Will it be a testnet? Will it be another rebase? We don't know for sure, but something is coming on 420.
Yeah.
Very appropriate for the THC podcast.
so
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
so everyone here is like a dev of Beras, right? Because I did some research on it. So it's like an EVM layer 1, right? On Atom. But it's gonna be focused on like meme coins, or it's gonna be focused on like real apps building on the chain.
Quick correction, not a dev,
It's not
a
on.
dev. Just
Sorry.
a degenerate gambler.
And it's not built on like Atom itself. Atom is just like a token to secure the Cosmos hub, and Bearchain is gonna launch somewhat like Thorchain, where it's like, yeah, it's built on Tendermint, but it's not gonna be something that's sort of like a Juno or a Stargaze or like a Wind, right? where it's just different, man.
It's gonna be more like Kanto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
but
best description that I can give it, brother.
yeah, but it doesn't matter, right? I mean, yes, they're gonna use Tendermint, but they're gonna be automatically like multi-chain compatible, right? Because if you use Tendermint, you have access, right, to the Atom ecosystem, which
Yes,
makes the
exactly.
chain automatically like interoperable, right? So that's nice, like every chain within Atom can connect with Beras chain, right? You can get more liquidity into.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah,
really interesting. Yeah.
yeah, Rita, exactly. So again, just to preface this, both Callie's myself and we are actually members of the Honey Jar, a team that's working on a protocol that's going to be connecting all the partners in the ecosystem. So we're not devs from Bearchain or official team members. We're just OGs in the space. But to hear that you were interested in a lot of those other Cosmos chains is really cool. Yeah, Bearchain is pretty much a fully EVM, DeFi-centric blockchain connected through the IBC. That's using its own proof of liquidity consensus mechanism. That's basically going to come over a lot of the shortcuts and shortcomings in the traditional proof of stake systems, focusing on aligning both protocols, users, and everybody in a capital efficient manner, with liquidity as its core principle. So there's a lot of things that are going to be possible, I guess, once the chain comes live. A lot of it's sort of under wraps, and I think the team's excited to talk about it in the next coming months.
Man, for me, EVM is everything, man. Like EVM, if your chain is not EVM, you're lagging behind, man. Like really, like you want other things to build on your chain, right? Like really easy with the smart contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also to speak everybody's language, I guess. We, I think, agree that Ethereum is going to be the gold standards long term. And I also noticed that quite a few of you are also bullish enough on the Atom ecosystem. And yeah, Bearchain, what is also trying to do is say, hey, Ethereum is going to stay gold standard. Atom is probably going to explode in the next few years with lots of activity. You need something in between. You need something to go through in order to get to Atom. And yeah, they want to be that.
I'm just to make my stance clear. I'm bullish on things built on Tendermint, right? Not necessarily like the Atom token. I mean, like if I were to say 2 years from now, where would Atom be versus the rest of the things that are building on Cosmos? I actually think it's going to be projects like Celestia that are going to be among the top in TVL. I think it's going to be Celestia. I think it's going to be Say, Saga, things like that. So it's quite different. Like those platforms, like their liquidity incentives and their backers and all that stuff, even the community, it's vastly different from like the other smaller chains, which are more like community based and all that stuff. And like, they don't want VCs. They don't want to be like mainstream. They just want to be in a room with like 5 people at 4 a.m, just, just like, making proposals and all that stuff. Like, we want things that are like
Yeah, that
fun and
reminds
all
me
that
of the
stuff.
troll box on Kanto.
Yes. So I have a question, right, for everyone here that's speaking, right? Like, I want your honest opinion, guys. Like, what do you guys think about Polkadot, right? Because Polkadot is a layer 0, like Atom. So, do you think Polkadot has a future? Because I think it failed.
Yeah,
Like,
see,
the blockchain got really
they
ass.
had their chance.
Like, what do you guys think?
They had their chance, dude. I was a huge fan of Kusama, like throughout 2020. But then going into 2021, when they had an issue with Karura and all that stuff, like it's always with these like weird governance proposals, and it's like, oh, looks like we can't go on to the next epoch of development. Oh, this proposal, that proposal. It's like all this boring crap, delegations and all that. Like, I understand it, right? We can get into the nitty gritty technicals and all that stuff, but Polkadot was an enemy of its own in that respect, where they tried to appease devs and they didn't want to make it fun. And really, the only fun aspect that came out of that whole like Dot Sama ecosystem was Donnie Big Bags and his Exo Sama metaverse stuff, which mean, it's kind of fun. I think he sold it. But I think it's going to be things like if you look at, hold on, give me 1 second. There's this UPS truck driving, and I decided to go on a little walk. I had a big meal. But if you look at things like Saga, right? They're implementing somewhat of what Kusama did, where they're going to be like a canary network. If you look at what they're doing with Polygon is going to be rolling out their SuperNets on Saga and testing out some of their Polygon Edge tech. And I understand that the Polygon like tech stack, the actual like real thing, isn't even that good. If you remember during the bull market, it was quite frustrating, really. But with that being said, I think it's just going to be like every other cycle, where whatever pumped hard during that last quarter, eventually it's going to take on the narrative throughout the next cycle, and it's just going to improve on that, right? Like late 2017, you had the prototype alpha nets of layer ones, right? Wan Chain, Aeon, Dragon Chain, shit like that. And then the next cycle, right? The projects that were being funded in that bear market, like Terra, Solana, AVAX, One, Phantom, they built upon that, and they thought to themselves, all right, let's make this thing actually tangible with a UI, right? Let's build some incentives behind it. And speaking about incentives, you had, Avalanche with their Avalanche Rush program. And, if you take a look at Saga, they have their cohort program, where they incentivize devs to build on them. And, they're going to be launching with over 100 applications ready to go, right? So, not to show like a dozen projects on here, but, we're here to get some alpha and talk about as many things as possible that we can take some actionable approaches to. But, with that being said, I see we have...
Wait, I wanted to add something about Polkadot real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think like what killed Polkadot essentially is the fact that it's very expensive to run a parachain on Polkadot. So most of the projects there were very, VC infested. You look at the charts of all the projects that did the parachain funding or whatever it was called, man, it's just down only. Not only that, the people that did locked their dot, like, because you had to lock your Polkadot, right, in order to get a position or whatever. It's still locked. I think it's locked for like a couple years. Just fucking nuts. So it's just dead. Like even when all those tokens are going to be unlocked, it's just dead weight. So there's no way that that ecosystem is going to ever come back. And VCs are like still up 100x or some shit for most projects on there. Like look at Reef.
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah.
Reef on Polkadot? Just look at Reef's chart.
Dude, Reef,
Yeah,
Reef's top was put in when KSI was on that reality show saying, "Oh, I'm a big investor in
Yeah,
Reef." I remember it hit like 5 cents, dude. And I was in
yeah.
my favorite frozen yogurt shop that eventually closed down. Rest in peace, Yogan Fruz. And I was with my boy, and he's like, "Dude, KSI mentioned Reef." I'm like, "Oh gosh, man, give me the Reef. It's time. It's time to rotate, dude. It's time to rotate." But speaking about rotation, dude, like if we look back, the 2021 cycle, again, as we've been mentioning on here, people think, oh, it was just up only, throw a dart. But it actually wasn't. You had to rotate a lot. And if you weren't in layer ones, and if you weren't in the trenches in things like Tokamak, Olympus, the Ohm Forks, AVAX Eco,
Yeah, you probably only get like a 4x or like a 3x.
pretty much, dude, pretty much. Or unless you bought ETH at like $100, and dude, if you look at the 2019 chart, for the most part, ETH was consolidating at 100, $200, and those are some pretty cool gains, man. When you're talking like the 35x on ETH.
Yeah, modest 45x. It's pretty good.
But
Yeah. Also the JPEGs too. That was another
oh gosh, man.
avenue.
Yeah, I think the biggest JPEG pain trade for me was Bored Apes. I used to follow Elio Trades, and he was like teaming up with Alex Becker and all that stuff in the spring of 21. And I remember like he was talking about Bored Apes. Same thing with that Shardy B chick, and the floor was at like 0.7 ETH. It was like just chilling there, and I thought about it, but I was already deep in the trenches. on Phantom and Terra and Ada. And I just didn't have like a huge community behind me as I do now. But that's the good thing about these Twitter Spaces. You get to connect with a ton of like-minded degens that are just here to seek alpha and talk some shop.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, I think speaking of the NFTs too, I know Bear Markets is didn't get able to come on stage, but definitely check them out and some of the markets that they're going to be doing, and some of the novel features that are going to be coming out with them with regard to NFTs and their Bear Maker marketplace. They basically have this range bound stability that came from Ohm, implemented with NFT minting mechanisms that they're doing. So basically, it's going to allow for perpetual price floors liquidity on NFTs that are minted on their platform, which will be cross chain too. So definitely should give the Bear Market guys a NFT a follow. Pin their tweet.
Hey, Wabi.
What's going on, brother?
Can I ask you a question about Saga, man? If that's okay.
Probably on another space, man. I've or just DM me privately,
Okay,
man.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I have I think I've gone on enough monologues about like a dozen different projects on this space. So excuse me
Saga
for
is
that,
a
bro.
whole conversation.
Yeah.
No, I just want to. I was going to ask really quick because you said 100 apps, but like, do you know like how many users they have now? I mean, they can make 100 apps, but if they don't have the users for it, it's going to be pretty pointless, right? I mean, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. I'll tell you that privately. I don't even think like their testnet is even like live at the moment, dude. Like this is
Yeah, I don't even think their testnet's
yeah,
live.
dude. This is like
So I mean,
this is not even gonna
it's
be
very early.
released for like another year, dude. It's like extremely early. Like Celestia is something that you should be seeking out like well before Saga. Fuel Labs as well. Like Fuel already has their wallet and all that stuff, and you can start playing on their testnet. And I know they have like an incentive, so we should probably seek that out. And these devs, they're not that hard to reach out to. But yeah, I'd recommend you to like seek out some people from Fuel or Celestia and get those numbers. Because Saga is just like way too early at the current moment. But I know they have a presentation at GDC this upcoming week where they're gonna be like announcing some stuff and showing off their UI. But I see we have a Spice Finance. If you wanna say anything, give your thoughts or anything like that, feel free to do so. I know Shirtless was on here and he had to go.
Yeah, yo, what's up? My name is Shreddy. I'm the guy behind the mask over here under the Spice Finance banner. No, I just wanted to join because our good buddy Callius and the rest of the Bears over at Honey Jar told us to hop on, and I saw Shirtless was on here, and I also saw his glorious exit. If you guys haven't seen, you should check the message that he sent. It's very educational. No, I mean, no need to shill. I just wanted to just hop on and listen. Sounds like you guys are having a good discussion, but happy to talk about anything about NFTs, NFT lending, or all that.
Shreddy, nice to talk with you, brother. Yeah, man. I'd love to. I
Hey,
think
Shreddy.
Tenzin
Yeah,
showed
yo,
his hand up. What's up,
Tenzin
Tenzin?
is from Silo, and let this man speak, because
Yeah, well, I mean, goes back to a while ago, but yeah, I mean, I just wanted to ask kind of what is the Bear Chain proof of liquidity consensus, if you guys can speak on that. But yeah, I think that's probably an very interesting way to secure a chain. Just have players with a large amount of value securing the transactions. But yeah, curious to hear.
Basically, the liquidity that will be provided on chain on the main swap on the main swap app or on the main DEX will be also used to secure the chain, to validate the chain.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like a much better way to secure a chain, just in terms of
so
scalability.
quite
Yeah.
capsule efficient. So now you won't have to um, divide your funds for those two activities.
Right, right. And how do you guys see that playing into kind of bringing in outside dexes, right? Is there going to be one, like kind of like Canto Dex, which is the go-to hub, and then how do you will there be any outside protocols being able to secure the chain with liquidity?
Yeah, I'm quite curious on that about that as well. I don't really know, but yeah, I do want to know how this plays out. Whether there will be another dex for a different purpose, or will it be mainly cross-up? I guess
Okay.
there should be probably another dex that provides something on top of that, or improves something and builds on top of cross-up. But yeah, we'll wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, Crocsop's going to be the native Dex. And I think they're sort of waiting for they haven't released their product yet fully. I believe they're beta testing it, but I think it's going to be live when Beras live. And there should be other Dexes that are going to be on the network too, outside of just the assets, the blue chips that they're using to secure the network. From what I understand.
Hey guys, we've been going for almost an hour and a half, and I hate to cut it here. I know there's some interesting talk, but for the listeners in the crowd, feel free to give all the speakers a follow. And if you enjoy this content, feel free to follow myself and also Because Bitcoin. We'll be back on Monday. I'm going to be hosting Zigzag Exchange and ZK Casino. And then on Tuesday, I'll be hosting DopeX either on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
And, soon
Wanna
after DopeX, hopefully Camelot. We also have Granary. And by early April, mid-April, hopefully we can have a mega space with devs from Arbitrum and devs building on Tendermint and some ZK stuff. I'm gonna try to host more of these mega
Yeah.
spaces moving on. But Duck, if you want to say something, I know you're up here on the speaker panel. If you want to give some of your thoughts or anything like that, feel free to do so, man. Sorry to cut it,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
you kind of came
No,
up
you're
at the last
good.
minute. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I was coming in when you were talking about Dot because I listened to a lot of what Ben Cohen talks about, and I don't think he even got his money out. I was talking to they're doing the parachain auctions. Essentially, I think one of the speakers was saying you had to lock your money up for so long. The vast majority of retail Dot is locked in with Voyager and with Celsius. Any one of these CD5 places that were selling Dot at the time, and you can't even use it anymore. It's kind of worth zero. So I was just chiming in to that, but I know that you guys got to close it off. Wanted to say shout out to Spice because they've been doing a lot. They've been doing a lot. I'm a part of their Prolog NFT as well. You guys can go check that out. And I'm also on the honey list with Bear Chain as well. So if you guys see a little duck running around in the Bear Chain Discord, that's me. I can't wait for the spaces with Arbitrum. I've basically become an Arbitrum maxi over the past year, and Arbitrum has definitely been my biggest play, and I'm excited for everything that has to come. So hopefully I'll be in those spaces as well. So thanks, Wabi. Shout out to you too, bud. You're the real one.
Hey, shout out Afro.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you all once again. Feel free to follow FDub, Spice Finance, all the other speakers on here. And it's going to be pretty cool, man. The next couple of months, hopefully, when Celestia launches Q4 of this year and they build out their ecosystem, we can have like a collaboration with like the blockchain modular ecosystem and Arbitrum, things like that. And hopefully we can get some frothy, absolute juice to the gills protocols that have insane liquidity incentives, and we can trade some coins with each other and have some fun, and enjoy ourselves through memes and these Twitter spaces. So anyways, man, I do these spaces throughout the week, so feel free to follow myself and Because Bitcoin and Pain. We host these whenever. time, whenever. It's usually announced 12, 18 hours before. There's a lot of time scheduling issues sometimes, but
Yeah, it's usually from like 2 to 9 p.m. Eastern. So
yeah, pretty much, man. But yeah, if you guys know any projects building on Arbitrum or Optimism or building on Tendermint that you feel would be a great value add to our audience here Because Bitcoin, feel free to do so. If you guys know any writers that are seeking to have their work hosted on a platform, feel free to reach out to myself. Currently, right now, we're undergoing a rebrand from the media side where we just launched a new website. It's undergoing its last finishing touches. It should be done by the end of the month. So if you guys know any writers that want their work hosted, feel free to do so. And if you want to catch a replay of this space, it's going to be uploaded onto our YouTube channel. It's same thing as this profile, Because Bitcoin. And you click in the playlist, you click in Crypto World Radio, and you should see the recording right there towards the bottom. Yeah, if anyone here in the audience ever wants to speak, just shoot me a message, and we'll see what we can do to host you. So with that being said, take care, everyone. I'm gonna go train arms, barbell curls, preacher curls, easy bar curls, concentration curls, hammer curls, incline skull crushers, flat bench skull crushers, tricep extensions, dips, forearm curls, and
Hey,
that's about it, man. So
hey, Wabi, before you go, I will send you a project on Arbitrum that's unreleased. I will send you it in PM, okay?
no problem, man. Appreciate you, man.
Okay, man.
All right, brother.
Yo, man. Okay, good
Yeah.
day,
All right,
man.
guys.
I was just gonna say, Wabi, because they were here earlier, but the Jones Dow guys, one of them was listening in, so you should definitely
The
reach out
Jones
to them. They
Dow
are an
guy
incredible team.
is still here. Tencent, I'm here.
No problem, dude. I'm actually.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm actually a
You're with
fan.
Jones?
I'm actually a fan of Osmosis Jones. There's this movie called Osmosis Jones, right?
Yeah.
And it's
The
Ozzy and
little
Drake.
blue guy, right?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
Ozzy and Drake, dude. You know what I mean?
Dude,
So
it can
Don't
be
say that in their
any
Discord.
Jones you want it to be. Indiana Jones, Osmosis Jones,
dude, I
Howden.
think I identify
Alex Jones.
I identify as Joe Jones. Like over here at Because Bitcoin, we have a lot of Joes. We have Joe Carliser, we have Joe Consorti, we have Cosmos Joe, we have Joe from Saga. So a lot of Joes, dude. You know what I mean? So it's all about passing around the cup of Joe, really. It kind of fits in line with what Rita was saying about espresso. So it'd be pretty ironic if there's a Joe as a dev in that team.
I sent you a
So
message. Let's set up a chat.
no problem, man. All right, guys, take care. It's been fun, guys.
Take care, man.
Take care, guys.
Hey,
Fun
dude.
time.
Take care, guys.
Quack quack.
The trading current is just math. It's just math. It has a 95.45% hit rate when we deviate outside of CP2 and CN2. All you had to do is recognize that 95% of the time when we get over here, under this blue line, we get some sort of mean reversion. So let's just assume you long right here. 95 out of 100 times, when I buy this, I'm gonna get some sort of bounce. It's just math. Look what would have happened as we move up. Look at the bounce that came after. And now look where we are. If you had just blindly followed the current, you take all emotions out of it, and you say, I'm going to trust the statisticians, you would have bought Dow Jones somewhere down here under 30,000. Depending on how you want to measure it from absolute top to bottom, 20% move. We also have multi-time frame alerts. You don't even have to be at your computer on TradingView. You can ping your phone. Now, the current has some really awesome features, and I would urge you guys to join our Discord to get access to it. We give it away for free as a tool to the community. It's just math. There's really no need to overcomplicate things, not even in the slightest.